So, as you guys know, it's really important to do reframes frequently on topics that have been like consistently discussed in a certain way for a long time so that, they begin to sound the same, or you tune out, or they no longer seem fully responsive. And I feel like one of these topics, in a sense, is the way we talk about boundaries, because we'll often hear um boundaries like coupled with like what kinds of like vocal assertions we're making, like sharing with someone, our limitations, this kind of thing, and using our voice. And in that sense, it's a type of a way of making an assertion. But there's a larger like backdrop to this, really, because boundaries like really like run on a deeper level too, right? If we consider boundaries and their relationship with our will, obviously the voice is one expression of the will, but so are our actions. And depending on the actions that we take and don't take, obviously this is like the core territory of our boundaries. And in particular, like, core boundary is definitely our own relationship with ourself. This is all about your own standards with yourself. Do you tell yourself one thing and then show up in a different way? How are you showing up for yourself? These are the first boundaries that you really need to set and keep. So, speech is one aspect of our will, but so are our actions. And boundaries in action are really like what actions we're really taking for ourselves. These do amount to basically metaphysical posits. We are literally in our actions saying, who we are and what we're doing and how we're showing up. And it's quite deep, really. This is how we, as the universe, are basically saying, here's something rather than nothing. Here is an inside rather than an outside. Through our actions, we're literally drawing the contours of meaning. We are drawing the lines basically that go on to compose everything that exists. Through our actions, we're giving shape to deeper senses of ontological meaning. Through our attention, we're also setting boundaries. We're saying, this is important and this is not. This is worth giving my energy to and this is not. And it's not just about me or you, it's really ontological. We're all connected in this way. So we're all partaking and participating in the movement of consciousness and the development of meaning in this sense. So it works on all of these levels, not just vocalizing boundaries, but at the level of our attention and at the level of the actions that we're taking, and especially the actions that we're taking for ourselves. So I just want you to keep that in mind and to remember it, because it brings this focus on boundaries back within your internal locus. Because at the end of the day, it's really not about other people, it's about the meaning that you're creating, the standards that you're holding, which is the same thing, and really like how you're giving shape to the universe, how you are conducting its expression, as it were, through your own activities and your attention and where you are running and directing energy. And I just feel that when you're really like tuned in and working on that level, like, boundaries are almost not even like a topic at all. Like, you don't need to, like, they don't present as like an issue in this way. Like, if you're really like tuned in to like the actions that you need to take and you're actually showing up on that level and you're very clear about like this action and not this action, I just feel like there's, this deeper register at play, and like maybe we don't hear about it as much in this sense. And I think you can take it a lot deeper than this too. Like, you could even take this down to, because what we're really talking about is the level of the choices that we're making on a day to day basis. So you can even bring this down to the level of like what food we're eating. Because literally, when we do this, when we eat a certain food rather than a different food, we are really making a metaphysical posit in this sense, because we are endorsing a certain type of energetic exchange. And so I do think we can take it down to that level. And so, what I would leave you with is just this thought that this is kind of like the essence of manifestation. Because if you can get this level of awareness into all of your choices and to understand the power of your choices in this sense as this like ultimate setting of these ontological boundaries. Like I think that's just a really powerful place to be. And all of this can happen before you even say a word. This is all about your actions. So I'm definitely the last person who's going to try to say that, language is not powerful. It definitely is. It definitely has causal efficacy. It can create change. It can create massive shifts in the mental body, in the emotional body. So there's a role for it. I guess here I'm just suggesting the power of action instead as a way of really kind of like grounding boundaries in a sense, if you want to think about it like that, so that they're not just some type of like cognitive action or thinking about them only in terms of vocalization, but like to really ground this into embodied actions. So if you're saying one thing, actually do it and see what changes and let me know.